Welcome to Dr. James Beckett Sports Card Insights here with nobody, just me and the cards. I'm looking at the 13th panel out of 80. I've got 80 panels, and then I've got some overflow, but this panel covers from Max Carey up through John Cena. So they're alphabetical, it's mixed up sports, and I started with Max Carey. This was an unusual card that most people don't see, and so I had that. I actually prefer this 61 Fleer that's signed with a nice signature. I really like a nice readable signature, but that's so that's that. Next is Rick Carlisle. He's not currently on the wall. I'm not sure he's going to be. If he'd have stayed with, he stayed with the Mavericks a long time. He's an excellent coach, but when he moves on, I think most of the interest in him, then I have one friend that's very close friends with him, so I may keep him on the wall or get him on the wall or in the overflow area where I can point to it. Steve Carlton, this is, again, what points out the nature of the hobby. This is a one of one. There's too many one of ones. I don't know that people would be salivating over this one of one. It's got a sticker autograph. It came from one of my trips to Hawaii when the card companies were passing out packs of interesting cards, and I just set it aside and then later got it graded, and it's a conversation piece. Not especially valuable, but it certainly has value. And I would say, again, thanks to the sponsors. So you know who they are. If you listen to the podcast, whether it's on YouTube or any of the podcast media, I always thank the sponsors, and I appreciate them. Harold Carmichael, again, thorn in the Dallas Cowboys side. If you're 6'8", you can catch and run. He was a tough opponent and a worthy Hall of Famer. Nevertheless, being primarily an Eagle, I'm not sure that he's going to make the wall in over time. This card I don't really know that much about. I try to know about cards, but this is the mini version, so it's very slightly smaller than a regular card. And I don't know if it's a test or what, but I've just kind of set it aside, got it graded, and I think it's probably too subtle for people to notice it, and yet I think it's something people really haven't seen. I actually prefer this one a lot better. I love the SSPCs. I used to try to get the complete set of those autographed, and I failed. I wasn't able to complete that. When I got all the sets complete that I wanted to get, then I started trying to get them autographed, and that's an impossible task. And then Kajana Carter, I remember when he was in college, a lot of fanfare, but he just couldn't put it together as a pro. And it points out that these superior picks, Rich and I may do an episode about that, but they really mass-produced autographs, and really, even though they were numbered, they were overproduced, and so Kajana was one of the guys that was. Okay, and Vince Carter wanted to pick an interesting card. This is the Warp Tech version, which I think by the pack odds it's really, really tough, but it has a certain kind of treatment that you might be able to see, but it's not especially valuable, but it's very, very tough. And I don't think, generally when we were having in the old days, the card companies wouldn't send us necessarily a set, but they'd send us kind of one of each variation at least. And this is very tough. I don't see them in the dollar boxes, that's for sure. And this is Fidel Castro, more of a novelty card, Little Son. And I know I have international listeners and viewers, but Fidel was pretty un-American, so I don't think he's going to make the grade, even though he had a love for baseball, and Cuba has had a great flow of players probably since Fidel was not as iron-fisted, but he's probably not going to be there. And then finally, homage to wrestling with John Cena. It's not a great photo, and I think I probably can get a better card, but I just wanted to put it in as a placeholder. But now, his career and his popularity is more based on his movies rather than his wrestling moves. And again, a 9.5, but when it's a pretty new card, a 9.5 is just not that big a deal. Whether it's a 10, 9.5, 9, it's a nice card, and it's hasn't really been handled. So thanks everybody for this walk down memory lane and seeing the cards that I have on, at least on this panel 13. And I'll be back again tomorrow with another panel.